The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Okay, good morning, everyone. This is Sam from the National Weather Service. I have 11 o'clock, so we'll go ahead and get started on our Thursday briefing here. I will start just with a brief look at our highlights for the weekend into early next week. So those mild temperatures we've been seeing the past couple days, expect those to persist into today, as well as tomorrow and Saturday, and then perhaps lingering as we get into Sunday as well. And then looking beyond that, in terms of at least the temperatures, that's when we would kind of expect a return to more typical January temperatures for most of next week. But yeah, in between that, we are expecting a pretty prolonged period of somewhat unsettled weather, off and on chances for showers, starting maybe later Friday, later tomorrow afternoon, continuing through Saturday, and then potentially lingering into Sunday as a pretty slow-moving system with a cold front approaches the area and then eventually moves through, likely Saturday night into Sunday. Again, just to look at the pattern here, we will stay dry today, and it won't be as warm as it was yesterday, but temperatures still quite above average for this time of year. I will bring that over here. Just brief look at the high temperatures today. Pretty good chance of reaching 60. South of Richmond, south and southwest of that. Areas along the coast probably stay cooler today. We have a pretty light onshore wind, pushing some of that cooler water temperatures towards those areas, but still really nothing to complain about for this time of year. So for tomorrow, we remain unseasonably warm. We'll be warmer than today. Tomorrow, we get that high pressure system, shifts offshore, and we get this pretty large system begins to approach the area from the west. Could be talking about a couple rain showers across western and northwestern portions of our forecast area later tomorrow afternoon. And then it's really Saturday that looks like the wettest day. But despite the wetness, it will be still quite warm with some breezy conditions as well as that low pressure system associated with that front gets closer. And then that front moves through on Sunday with the cooler air beginning to filter in later Sunday and especially Monday. But we will turn dry by early next week. One other thing to watch for, just because the system's pretty strong and we're getting some of those warmer temperatures and some of that Gulf moisture, being pulled up towards the area. We aren't expecting any thunderstorms today and tomorrow, but there could be a few rumbles of thunder Saturday as that front gets closer. And then the Storm Prediction Center has highlighted the western and especially the southwestern portions of our area for a marginal risk for severe weather, and that would primarily just be for locally gusty winds and any shower or storm. I'm really not expecting any widespread severe potential at this point, but we will at least keep an eye on this as we get closer to Saturday. I mentioned the pretty prolonged period of rain here, but it really won't be raining the whole time. So just kind of waves of showers, again, starting tomorrow afternoon, especially tomorrow evening, lingering through most of Saturday. And it's that kind of Saturday morning through Saturday afternoon that looks probably the most wet, and then beginning to dry out after that Sunday. The highest rainfall totals still look to be across, the northwestern portions of our area, with lower totals, southeast Virginia, northeast North Carolina. These rainfall totals have actually increased a bit compared to what it was looking like the past couple days. I will kind of bring in this image here, which kind of shows the, at least what we're looking at now, the chances of exceeding 1 inch of rainfall. So these probabilities are quite a bit higher than they were yesterday. So, greater than a 50% chance of seeing more than an inch for a good portion of our area. Richmond, greater than 60%. It's really kind of this area that we're focusing on most, but even areas across the southeast, while they have a lower chance, there's still, some potential for, those rainfall amounts approaching an inch down that way. Really, the majority of the rainfalls in the tomorrow through Saturday night time frame, but there likely will be some lingering showers closer to the coast Sunday, and then we're really kind of turning dry beyond that. In terms of the temperatures, I won't go through really this day by day, but again, mild through about Sunday, and then turning more seasonable next Monday and Tuesday. Overnight lows really, again, milder than average, especially Friday night into Saturday morning, and then back below freezing for most areas by early next week. And again, vast majority of the rain chances are confined from later Friday through midday Sunday. We still are expecting locally warmer than average temperatures into next week, but I'm not going to say it's misleading, but we're just talking about temperatures, a couple degrees above average, which would be, in the pretty much like lower 50s. So, not like anything we're expecting next couple days for next week, but generally averaging a little warmer than average, and then pretty much near to slightly above normal precipitation chances. I will show this. This was updated this morning, the drought monitor. So, despite the rain that we're expecting next couple days, it has turned quite dry. But we really have received very little in terms of rainfall, since early December. So, a large portion, or really our entire area, is classified at least as abnormally dry, with moderate to locally severe drought conditions. For portions of interior Northeast North Carolina, Southern Virginia, and especially out here in the Western Piedmont as well. So really, the rain we're expecting would be beneficial, but don't expect it really to totally eliminate the drought conditions. So we would need, a couple more systems to really start taking a dent at this. But shifting gears here to the marine side, really nothing abnormal to discuss. Expect some gusty southwesterly winds by Saturday ahead of the system, and then once the winds shift to the northwest, we'll also have some elevated winds with small craft advisories likely by Saturday into Saturday night, and then likely continuing from Sunday night into early Monday as that colder air begins to push into the area. Really just kind of light winds next couple days, or rather through Friday, and then picking up with gusts 25 to 30 knots later Saturday. Then maybe kind of a brief lull early Sunday, and then with the colder air pushing in, we'll get pretty good shot at 25 to 30 locally higher wind gusts out of the northwest early Monday, and then looks like pretty much sub-small craft conditions heading into the middle of next week after that system. In terms of the waves and seas, so seas offshore, at least look like they build up about 4 to 6 feet and then 2 to 3 feet in the Chesapeake Bay. Okay, so that's all I have. I guess I can just leave us here on the highlights, and I will stop the recording and take any questions if there are any.